everybody, this is Bogas Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the Marvel Legends MCU Red Guardian and Melina 2-pack. So before we take a look at Melina, let's take a look at Red Guardian and the accessories that he comes with. So first up, he comes with a set of alternate ungloved hands. Here he is with his ungloved hands. Up next, he comes with a little action figure of himself, and I think this is such an awesome accessory. And it's actually painted pretty well for being such a small thing. It doesn't have any movement or anything, which I wouldn't expect it to, but yes, I love this accessory. Up next, he comes with his shield, and this time it's done in more correct colors. Here it is compared to the first, and as you can see, this figure is really improved upon this last version. This last version was super inaccurate, which before I switched the head sculpts out, I wanted to show them side by side. And this one's actually a better likeness than I thought it would be. He has some really nicely sculpted hair, and his beard, it has some nice paint variation to it. I do wish we would have seen some gray mixed in his hair, and I don't think it 100% looks like David Harbour, but I do see the likeness there, so it's not a horrible likeness. But yeah, this one was awful. This was an awful head sculpt and looked nothing like him. And finally, he comes with his helmeted head sculpt, and this is what he should have came with in the first place. It's got some really nice silver details on it, and I think this head sculpt looks a lot like David Harbour. I think the helmeted head sculpt is better, but I do think it looks like him. Again, you get some nice paint there for the gray in the beard, and the paint on this is pretty nice. But yeah, this is what we should have gotten in the first place, and it looks really, really nice. So comparing the bodies, the red on this was too bright, and this was done in a really, really bright gray color, and now it's done in the proper white color. It's not fully white, but it's done in more accurate colors. You get some silver and black there on the gloves. You even get some paint variation there on the logo on his chest on that star. And from what I've seen, it's supposed to be like a white color. It's not supposed to be silver. So that isn't accurate still. But yeah, the paint on this is a little bit better than this one. As you can see here by his shoulder, you can see some red showing through right there. But this one is painted better than this version. This one had a ton of paint app flaws. I mean, you still see some red showing through here and there, but it's not as bad as this version. But yeah, this is definitely the proper version that we should have got in the first place. I actually got a second Red Guardian to customize into this version, and then they announced this version, so I'm kind of stuck with a second one of this one. I'm thinking of maybe customizing it, though. I'll definitely be able to customize it into something. But yeah, this version, you don't even need this version now, because this one is the far superior version. So now let's go over his articulation. He has a ball-jointed head that can look up just slightly and down just slightly. He can move his head side to side, and you get a little bit of tilting. He has ball-jointed shoulders that can move all the way out. He has swivel at the bicep, double-jointed elbows that can only bend in that far. On the left wrist, he has a hinge that moves up and down and side to side. And on this wrist, it's a swivel that moves up and down and side to side. As you can see, it's hindered because I have the shield on there. He has an ab crunch that can move back all the way, and he can crunch forward all the way. He has a swivel at the waist that can move side to side. He has ball-jointed hips that can just about do a complete split. He can kick forward a pretty good bit, and back a good bit. He has swivel at the thigh, double-jointed knee that can bend back all the way, swivel at the boot, and swivel at the ankle that can move down all the way, up all the way, and an ankle rocker. So the articulation is exactly the same. It's a little bit different up here because of this helmeted head sculpt, but other than that, it's exactly the same. But as I said, this version is a lot more accurate, and I definitely prefer it. So now let's go ahead and take a look at Melina and all of her accessories. So first up, she comes with a set of fisted hands. Up next, she comes with her gun-holding hands and her pistols. And as you can see, the left side goes in really well, and the trigger finger is cut pretty well. But on the right side, it's barely cut, and it doesn't want to go in there. As you can see, I don't know why, but it just doesn't want to stay in there like this one. So yeah, this one looks funny. This one looks just fine, but yeah, this right side doesn't look right at all. You can also store both pistols on the holsters on her thighs. Up next, she comes with more accessory holding hands. This time, they don't have the trigger finger on them. Up next, she comes with a grapple hook. And finally, she comes with her stun batons. And these don't look at all like what they're supposed to. They just painted them more accurately this time. But yeah, these still aren't accurate to what appears in the actual movie. And she also has storage for them on her back. So taking a look at the head sculpt, I think this is a pretty good likeness of Rachel Weisz. My only complaint is I do feel like they should have put some paint right here on her cheekbones, because she does have really prominent cheekbones, so I do feel like they should have put some more paint there. It looks like they kind of tried to put some on the right side here, but it kind of just looks like dirt, and there's none on the other side. So I don't know if that was actually supposed to be paint for her cheekbones, or that's just a mistake. But anyways, I think this is a pretty good likeness of her. The hair is sculpted nicely, but it doesn't have any paint variation or anything to it. Now this is the same exact body as the deluxe Black Widow figure, except it has some changes in color. As you can see, the shoulder pads are done in like a cream color, and she has a little bit of that on the hands, and the knee pads also have some of that color to it, but the rest of the body is just cast in white. And it has a little bit of sculpt detail to it, but yeah, it's exactly the same. Actually, I did forget to mention that the back is different. The back is different because it has the storage for the stun batons. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, so it's not exactly accurate. The torso is different, which they could have just glued that down on there, because, let's see. Yeah, it looks the same. So yeah, they might have just glued that backpack on there, but that is the only major difference on this figure. Other than that, these are the same body. So now let's go ahead and go over her articulation. She has a ball-jointed head that can look back all the way. You do have to move the ponytail just a little bit, but she can look up all the way. She can look down all the way. She can move her head side to side, and she has some slight tilting. She has shoulders that can move out farther than I thought they'd be able to. They are hindered just a little bit by those shoulder pads, but they do have more motion than I figured they would. She has single jointed elbows that can bend in all the way. She has hinges on both wrists that can move up and down and side to side. She has a ball jointed diaphragm that can move back all the way, down just about all the way, and side to side very slightly. She has ball jointed hips that can do a complete split. She can kick forward just about all the way, and back just slightly. She has swivel at the thigh, double jointed knee that can kick her own butt, and a swivel ankle that can move down all the way, up all the way, and it just moves side to side. There's no rocking there. So it can be a little bit tricky to get her to stand because it just moves side to side. So now let's do some size comparisons. Here they are next to the deluxe Black Widow figure. Here they are next to my modded out Black Widow movie figure. As you can see, I made her stun batons from scratch, and that is what they should look like. But as you can see, they don't look like that. I also gave her a more accurate hairstyle, too. Here they are next to Yelena Belova. And finally, there they are next to Taskmaster. So overall, I would highly recommend picking up this pack because it is really awesome. Like I said, don't even bother with getting that old Red Guardian figure, because it's awful compared to this one. This version is much better. It features a more accurate paint scheme, a masked head like everybody wanted, and a better likeness to David Harbour. And Melina is also really awesome. She reuses the Black Widow body mold, but still, it is a really awesome figure, and I didn't figure we'd get her. So yeah, I would highly recommend picking up this pack. So that's my review. If you like this review, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.